Hi guys, how's it going? This is about the 5th video I made today. I've done all pre-AP videos. Now we're going to go into my regular class. So this is Regulars Due Now. Again, this due now is to get the students ready for their test on Friday. And honestly, this is probably the hardest test they're going to take this year. Mostly because I think the kids are going to struggle with looking at their resources, the star chart. They must use the star chart in order to do this test. And this test is not multiple choice like the other tests. They actually have to set up and solve the problems. So here we go. Number 1, if there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer, how many meters would be in 14 kilometers? Well, we got lucky because it gave us the information from the chart already. So we are comparing meters to kilometers. So here's my nice little one chart. It tells us 1,000 meters is equivalent to 1 kilometer. But I'm not going 1 kilometer, I'm going to go 14 kilometers. So to go from 1 to 14, you have to multiply by 14. So 1,000 times 14 is 14,000. Now if you tell me the final answer is 14,000, you're wrong and I'm taking a whole bunch of points off. We're talking about measurements, so you must have the units with it. If there are no units, it will be wrong. Okay? So your answer should be 14,000 meters. Number 2, if a mile is 1,760 yards, how many yards will be in 3 miles? Again, we are lucky. It gives us the conversion from our star chart in the reading. So we are comparing miles to yards. So again, here's my nice little one chart. 1 mile is 1,760 yards. Now I feel like getting in shape, so I decided to go for a 3-mile jog. So to go from 1 to 3, I multiplied by 3. So 1,760 times 3, if you do the math, you get 5,280. So your final answer should be 5,280 yards. Again, you must have the units with it because we are dealing with measurements. Now number 3 is nice and easy, just straight up multiplying and dividing. Number 3 says 5 times 1,000. So if you have 1,000 $5 bills, guess what? You have $5,000. I could always use $5,000. I think the kids could here too. Alright, I'm going to skip to number 5. You have 6.79 times 100. Well guys, we're taking a decimal and multiplying it by 100, right? Well, instead of actually doing the work over here, if you have a number and you're multiplying it by 100, you move the decimal 2 places to the right. So the answer is just 679. Now, on number 5, we multiplied by 100, so we had to move the decimal to the right. On number 6, you are dividing by 100. So instead of moving the decimal to the right 2 places, you have to move it to the left 2 places. 1, 2. So number 6 should be 0.0225. Well, if you look at number 4, you have 18 divided by 1,000. And you're like, there's no decimal. Well, guys, 18 is a whole number. So if you want to turn that into a decimal, you put the decimal behind the 18. And since I'm dividing by 1,000, you move the decimal to the left 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So you should get 0.018. Guys, if you don't understand how to move the decimal, then actually do the division. Actually do the multiplication over here. You'll get the same exact answer. Alright, let's look at numbers 7 and 8 now. Number 7 says, Farmer Adriana has a bale of hay which has a mass of 36 kilograms. How many milligrams of hay are in the bale? So here we're going to have to go to our star chart, and we are comparing kilograms to milligrams. Well, if I look here under weight and mass, I have 1 kilogram, but that's 1,000 grams. Here's my milligrams. So what is 1,000 times 1,000? I've heard students say 10,000. They're wrong. I've heard students say 100,000. You're still wrong. The answer is 1 million. 1,000 times 1,000 is 1 million. So 1 kilogram is equal to 1 million milligrams. But look at here, I don't want 1 kilogram, I need 36 kilograms. So 1 times 36, that's your scale factor. So what is 1 million times 36? Well, 36 million. So your answer is 36 million milligrams. Alright, this next one's going to be a little bit tougher. Number 8 is going to be a two-stepper. Alright, so here we go. Number 8. If a man drinks 16 ounces of water every 4 hours, how many cups of water will he drink in 24 hours? So I have two different conversions. The first one is ounces to cups. Ounces, cups. So if we look at our star chart, well, right here under volume and capacity, 1 cup is equal to 8 fluid ounces. So 8 ounces is in 1 cup. But it says he drinks 16 ounces. Well, to get from 8 to 16, what did you multiply by? Well, good, multiply by 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. So he drinks 2 cups of water every 4 hours. Well, my question is, how many 4-hour periods will fit into 24 hours? Well, let's see. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So there are 6 4-hour periods. So if he drinks 2 cups of water every 4 hours, and you have 6 4-hour periods, what is 2 times 6? 12. So this guy drinks 12 cups of water every 24 hours, which means he is very well hydrated. Alright, now the backside. Solve the following. Use a one chart may help. The hostess of a party is making punch to serve at a wedding. The punch is served in 1 cup serving size. If she makes 15 gallons of punch, then how many people can she serve? So we are comparing cups to gallons. So let's see, 1 cup, I'm sorry, we're trying to figure out how many cups are in 1 gallon. So if we look at our star chart, well, here's my gallon, but there's no cups here. The cups are down here. So here's what we're going to do. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So 16 cups fit into 1 gallon. But she's not making 1 gallon of punch. She's making 15. So to go from 1 to 15, you have to multiply by 15. 16 times 15. Let's go ahead and do that math over here. Let's see, 6 times 5 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. Second row add a 0. 1 times 6, 1 times 1 Add down. So they have 240 cups of punch. Actually, the question says how many people can she serve, not how many cups. How many people can she serve? She can serve 240 people. So I labeled it wrong. It is right there now, 240 people. Alright, number 10. One of the largest watermelons ever grown weighs about 3/4 of a ton. How many pounds did the watermelon weigh? So we are comparing tons to pounds. So let's look at the star chart. 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. Well, it says we're going 3/4 of a ton. You can either put it as 3/4 or you can turn it into a decimal. It does not matter. I think I'm going to turn it into a decimal. So if you have 3/4, how much money is that? 75 cents. Alright, so to get from 1 to 2,000, you have to multiply by 2,000. So 0.75 times 2,000, let's do that math and we will get our answer. Back from the first 6 weeks, let's start by moving the decimal to the very back. So that was 2 movements. 5 times 0, 5 times 0, 5 times 0, 5 times 2 is 10. Second row, add a 0. 7 times 0, 7 times 0, 7 times 0, 7 times 2 is 14. Add straight down. You get this large number of 150,000. But I have to move the decimal back 2 places. 1, 2. So you get 1,500. So the answer should be 1,500 pounds. Now I really hope the students aren't just writing down these answers. They are showing their work, because you are going to have to show your work just like this on the test. Because if you don't show your work and you get a random answer right, we are not giving you credit. You have to show us how you got the answer. It is not a multiple choice test. It is not. Alright, we got 2 more. A can of green beans weighs about 14.4 ounces. 1 pallet is 48 cans. If an HEB stock boy is moving a pallet of green beans, how many pounds of green beans is he lifting? So here we are comparing ounces to pounds. So let's go and look at our star chart. Well, it tells us right here 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. But it says 1 can weighs 14.4 ounces. Well, this guy's not carrying 1 can to go put on a shelf. He's carrying 48 of them. So what we're going to have to do first is take the 14.4, which is the weight of 1 can, and we're going to have to multiply that by 48. That'll tell us how many ounces it was. Start by moving the decimal to the back. That was 1 movement. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 4 is 32. Plus 3 is 35. 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 3 is 11. Second row, add a 0. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 1 is 17. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Add straight down. You get 6912, but again I have to move the decimal back 1 place. So in reality he had 691.2 ounces. But the question says how many pounds? How many pounds? Well, guys, to go from 16 to 1, you have to divide by 16. So 691.2 divided by 16 will give us the answer. I'm actually going to move this to the very bottom so we can see my work. Now, how do you know what goes in, what goes out when you're dividing? You see how this number here is on the outside? It's going to stay on the outside. This would be like your top in, bottom out. Now, do you have a decimal here on the outside to kick the ball to the wall? No, you don't. So this decimal has to go straight up. 16 can go into 69. 16, 32, 48, 64. Goes in there 4 times. $16 into 51. 16, 32, 48. Goes in there 3 times. And then how many times can 16 go into 32? It can go in there twice. So the answer is 43.2 pounds. Alright, we got one more. Let's see if we can keep this video under 20 minutes. Number 12. One of the world's narrowest electric vehicles is about 1.08 meters wide. How wide is the vehicle in centimeters? So we're talking about centimeters and meters. Well, it tells us right here on our star chart that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So again, 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Well, it's 1.08 meters wide. Well, to go from 1 to 100, you have to multiply by 100. So what is 1.08 times 100? Well, again, if you're multiplying by 100, just move the decimal 2 places to the right. The answer is just 108. There's your answer. Alright guys, I really hope you study and get ready for your test on Friday. It's not going to be easy. Alright, bye.